Lieutenant Frank DiDomizio. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Yonkers Police Department. We're here to discuss a shooting incident that occurred on this corner overnight. We're going to be hearing from the First Deputy Chief of the Yonkers Police Department, Daniel Campanini, as well as the Mayor of the City of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano. Without further ado, here is the First Deputy Chief, Chief of Investigations, Daniel Campanini.
Thank you, Frank. Good morning, everyone. The Yonkers Police Department is investigating a fatal shooting that occurred at approximately 8:43 p.m. on Sunday, August 2nd, in the area of Elm and Palisade Avenue. 5 victims were struck by gunfire, including a 20-year-old male who's pronounced deceased after suffering a gunshot wound to the back. The remaining 4 victims, ages 16, 15, 15, and 14, sustained gunshot wounds and remain hospitalized in critical but stable condition. A 15-year-old male suspect was taken into custody at the scene. Investigators also recovered a loaded firearm and ballistic evidence. We believe this was the sole suspect and this was a targeted incident, and there is no ongoing threat to the public. This investigation remains active. Additional information will be released as it becomes available.
Thank you, Chief. And now for his remarks, the Mayor of the City of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. I'm also joined with me, Councilman from the District 1, Deanna Norman, the Majority Leader of the City Council, John Rubo is here. And this incident took all of about maybe 5 seconds. 5 seconds, and with 5 people, 1 person dead. You know, guys, urban centers in America continue to deal with these issues. Many of the laws that were passed at the state capitol, people want to know who to blame? Go to the state legislature. Because they've succeeded in taking the handcuffs off the bad guys and putting them on law enforcement and the judges. And if that isn't enough, because we can blame the Democrats at home, we can blame the Republicans in Washington because of their inability to do things that will allow for law enforcement to take guns, illegal guns, off the streets. How does a 15-year-old end up with a gun like that? And that's what we have and continue to deal with in our communities. Yonkers, which is still statistically the safest city in all New York State, one of the safest cities in America. Now that tells you something, because even one crime, even one shooting is too much for any one of us to bear, especially the family of that 20-year-old is dealing with the loss of their child today. But think about this. We have to continue to be vigilant. We have to continue to do the things that we need to do to keep our community safe. And that's why you'll see the police mobile command unit, because we've taken our command unit out of the 3rd precinct and we put it here on Elm Street. We're taking our street back. We're not going to let bad guys think that they somehow control Elm Street. They don't. And we'll deal with this. And our law enforcement officers, as they always do, will continue to do the things that they do. And we'll make sure that the street is surveyed. We have cameras. We have law enforcement officers. We have law enforcement officers that are in uniform or not in uniform. There's all kinds of police activity here. So for those who might think about a retaliatory strike, they might want to think again. We're going to do the things that have made us successful, and we'll continue to do those things. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Frank. But again, thank you to our Yonkers Police Department for their swift action in bringing a suspect to the table so quickly. But I'm just sad to say that given the situation, given the laws that we have to deal with, I'm not sure that if he is the guilty party, will be in jail for long at all. But we have our work to do. We have our work cut out for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Keeping in mind this is still early in the investigation and an active investigation, We'll open it for a few questions, if anybody has, for either the mayor or the deputy chief.
Please, for the mayor, do we know a motive at this time? You said it's targeted. Do we know a motive?
We are investigating the possibility that this is going to be a group violence incident. So we do believe that the individual that we have under arrest targeted the individuals that were on the corner. We don't know if the intended target was actually struck, but we are examining this as a group violence incident. So we will take all necessary precautions wherever we feel that a retaliatory incident may take place.
So the 4 teenagers were possibly part of what was being targeted?
That's what we are still investigating. I mean, we're only hours into it, so it's going to take some time. We're going to rely on our gang unit to do a lot of work in the background on this, and we'll see what we come up with. But we do believe that this is a group violence nexus based on the area and based on the individuals that were in play.
Right. Sorry, I just want to follow up on that. Is it correct to say you believe this 15-year-old opened fire on a group of people?
Yes. Right now, he's going to go before the youth part of criminal court, but we do believe it would be, murder at the least.
So the mayor said, how can the 15-year-old get caught like that? What kind of firearm was it?
I'm not going to be at liberty to discuss that right now because we're still so active in the investigation. He hasn't even appeared in court yet. But as we can and we move forward, we will release that information.
Is it a possible situation where someone provided him a gun and instructed him to do this?
That is certainly possible, and again, that is something that we're going to investigate, and that's something that we will, prosecute further if we get information that leads us to believe that that's exactly what occurred.
So you used to quote group violence, but then you mentioned the gang squad. How do you view that situation in Yonkers? Do you have gangs? Do you have crews that have a geographical association? Help us understand how the police view the overall problem.
Yes, so we tend to view it as a group violence, and so we would label it as a group violence incident. It is a gang unit, but what they do is they work on different members of the groups that will engage in this type of violence. So, it is territorial. They do work out of certain neighborhoods, and then therefore we'll deploy our resources to those neighborhoods, a high visible presence, a continued visible patrol presence, and that is supplanted by our undercover officers in the background.
Thank you. For the chief or the mayor, actually I guess really the mayor, you expressed frustration that the possible perpetrator could end up going free not so long from now. I want to make sure that I understood that. And can you elaborate more on why you're feeling that way? I guess it's just because
it's yeah, sure. I mean, listen, I've been mayor now for 15 years. I spent 20 years in the state legislature, so I get it. But you know what? We do things like raise the age, which there was a lot of positive to raising the age. There were reasons to do it. Cash bail, there were some reasons to do it. But there was never a look back to say, you know what, where did we go too far? Well, how can we soften or how can we change this law so that we're not handcuffing law enforcement, we're not handcuffing our judges. And that's what I'm concerned about. And like I said, so it's one hand being weak on people who commit crimes with guns, and the other hand, we'll look at Congress, it's having an inability to keep guns from being trafficked into our communities. And so you got to blame Congress, but they will not address the issue. And if they don't address the issue, we continue to see carnage like this happening in our communities, and it's not good. And I'm not sure at the end of the day what the final outcome is, but the final outcome will be, if we do nothing, we'll continue to see things like this happen. I've been on Elm Street 3-4 times in 15 years, and you know the places that this is going to happen. You can almost predict it, but like I said, we're a little spoiled over the past year. I think August 31st was the last time this community had a homicide. That's a huge. I mean, that's kind of huge. But like I said, one murder is too many, right? And we have a mom or a dad or a family that is going along the loss of a 20-year-old because some 15-year-old got his hands on a gun. It was within 5 seconds, so I'm assuming it. I can't speak for the cops, and I know that they have their investigation, but it was pretty quick that this all happened, and then gone. And it wasn't for the hard work of our law enforcement officers. They were able to get this person back. Listen, New York State's got to start listening to the mayors. The mayors are the generals on the front lines of the wars of things like this that are happening. And when they make their changes, whether it happen at the federal government or the state government, they usually do so without our consultation, without even talking to us about it. And go back to bail reform. It happened in a budget bill, and we had no input on it, not whatsoever. And neither did law enforcement, and neither did the district attorneys. None of them had any input on this. It was passed in a budget bill, not under this governor, under the previous governor. And it's a lot like that that usually doesn't work.
Over here.
See a little bit about how or where exactly the shooting unfolded. There was a film available to it, and there was different areas that were taped off overnight.
Yeah, so just about 51 Palisade. So probably right up where our blue umbrella is, right about there is probably where the group is standing, and the individual shooter was right over where the white bus is, right across the street. And he stepped into what we believe in the middle of the roadway and fired a shot.
And the state custody said he replied, is it the gang unit that happened to be in the area because of this?
We actually had an on-duty captain in the area that actually heard the shots and immediately saw the suspect begin to run, followed the suspect, and was able to apprehend him with marked units at scene.
Tony?
There's no threat to the public. The mayor did talk about potential for a retaliatory strike. Should the public be concerned people are living, walking in this area?
No, you're going to see a very heavy and continued police presence, much like you see now with our command center. We'll have it at various areas, but there will be a constant police presence. That's going to be our neighborhood stabilization team. That's going to be foot patrols. That's going to be bicycle officers. We will have our emergency services officers coming through, traffic officers. So it's going to be a constant presence, both here at this location and other areas close by that we feel there may be a retaliatory strike. We do not know that. There was a group of people there, so we're at this point we're unable to say exactly who the intended target was. Only that corner, that group of individuals appear to be the intended target, but we don't know yet who in that group was. Correct.
And is there surveillance video that's been located?
Yes, there is. We were able to retrieve various surveillance video, and right now what it's going to look like is case enhancement. Detectives will be out. We will be retrieving as much video as we can to help bolster the case for us.
And I know you're working to get this information. Do you have a breakdown on the sexes of the 4 teenagers who were injured?
Yes. So 3 are males, 1 is a female.
Any other questions?
Yes, can you specify, like the age, like which one's the male?
The female is, I believe, 14, and the males are the other ages.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.